After what feels like has been 7 years, because it has in fact been 7 years since Daredevil was on TV, he returns with Daredevil Born Again, which is technically the 4th season of the show, as it does progress from the Netflix series all those years back. I watched the first 2 episodes that were released on Disney Plus, and I have thoughts. I'm going to talk about it in a spoiler-free review. Let's begin. Daredevil was an interesting one to bring to Disney because the original run on Netflix was definitely on the R-rated side of things. There was blood, there was some violent situations, a lot of action, some swearing. It did not feel like an MCU property. Because at the time, it kind of was not, but it was very messy. But now that Disney owns everything, he's under the House of Mouse. And that can be a very scary situation. What are they gonna do to our hero? How is he gonna dish out justice if he's hampered with a PG-13 rating? I know TV shows don't actually have PG-13 ratings, but you know what I'm saying. And by the way, if you like what I'm saying, make sure to subscribe to this channel, Adam Does Movies. I post movie content. Occasionally I dip my toe in the TV stuff, especially when it's kind of spinning off of the film franchises anyways. Love to have you stick around. It's free of charge to sub. You can also find me in podcast form on Apple and Spotify and all that stuff. Everywhere you want to be, you can find me. That was a weird rhyme. Let's keep going. Of the 2 episodes I watched, I thought the first was far stronger than the second, but even so, the first couple minutes are rough. I think the reintroduction to this character and others was handled in a pretty sloppy way, with some bizarre music choices that are so loud it hampers the dialogue. Not that it really matters, because the dialogue's pretty damn forced, and it's just trying to kind of get you up to speed with where people are, as this takes place a couple years later. I also want to note, I did not even watch Daredevil Season 3. For some reason, I watched the first 2 and then I guess forgot that a 3rd one came out at some point and just moved on with my life. I also did not watch Echo, which I believe features Wilson Fisk. I did see that Hawkeye kid show that was on a few years back. That was pretty terrible, though, when he was introduced to that. Needless to say, I don't feel like I really missed out on much by not having the knowledge from those shows. But I will also say this, the show very much wants you to at least have some knowledge of this character and this world he's in, so I would highly recommend watching at least the first season of the Netflix series. I would watch it regardless because it's damn good, and it's sadly so far better than what we're getting from Disney. And I'm not saying the new stuff's bad. A step down? I would say a little bit more than a step down. It's pretty rough. The action that we've had so far, a lot of interesting camera choices, and by interesting I mean kind of terrible. Some of the fights are really cool though, and there's some creativity on display, but then at other times we're seeing him kind of swing around like a dipshit, and it never looks very good or cool, even though that's what they're going for. I'm over the hero pose shtick. I'm over the cliche manner that they present our hero in. Let's just get to it already. I don't need to see him pounce down and do a stoic stand-up. It's been played out. Charlie Cox plays our Red Devil, does a great job. He's back into the flow like nothing changed. Same with Vincent D'Onofrio as Fisk, aka Kingpin. There are a few new supporting characters. None of them really make much of a ripple in this pond. Really, the focus of the show, wisely, is on the relationship, the dynamic between our villain and our hero. They have interactions together, they sit down for some coffee at one point, have a nice little chat, and these are the moments that work really well. The dialogue, while not the most amazing, is at least interesting, and it's really introspective. And these guys do a great job of pushing the blame on each other, pointing out each other's weaknesses, similarities, and you can see where it's building by the time the first episode winds down. As for the plot, I don't want to dig into it. I'll just say that Wilson Fisk has found yet another way to rise to power, and it's definitely going to pose an issue for our Daredevil. Matthew Murdock has been shaken to his core, and he hung up the mask for some reason that I don't want to explain in this, but you'll find out very early on in the episode. And Fisk being back in the spotlight is definitely going to be the push Daredevil needs to be reborn again. Maybe that's why it's called Daredevil Born Again. Oh, that's fun. Anyway, as far as the production goes, this is definitely the most polished of the Disney Plus offerings that I can recall, although Loki was pretty solid when it came to the cinematography and just the way that they use the camera. There are some messy moments in the action, but overall, a pretty presentation, and I really want to give a shout out to the soundtrack, especially that theme song. I don't know if that's the one that they had in the original, because again, it's been a billion years since I watched it, but that song is freaking awesome. I like the theme a lot, and they do a good job including it here and there without it getting obnoxious. What I do on this channel, short for typically, is I will do a video like this, a spoiler-free one, giving quick thoughts, my opinions, which is pretty much redundant to thoughts, and then I will just see how engagement does on this video and if there's any thirst for me to go episode to episode. If this one does well, I will do spoiler videos going through this entire season. But for right now, I'll just say the show is watchable, it's fine, nothing amazing has happened yet, nothing is wowing me too much where I have to tune in instantly when the new episode comes out. At the same time, I'm not like utterly disappointed or disgusted by this new take on the series. It's just kind of more of the same in a less satisfying way. Now I'm starting to sound like my wife. But I think it's fair to say Daredevil's back. I see promise. Is it matching the quality of the Penguin? No, I don't believe that's the case. But this is also a different type of show, more action heavy than we had there. Where the Penguin was like award-winning stuff, Daredevil Born Again is managing to be better than the CW crap. That's, I think, where it squarely fits at this point. Let me know your thoughts, though. Did you check it out? Were you blown away so far? Are you loving the return to form? Or are you like me and you thought, yeah, that's okay. That was fine. I didn't need more Daredevil, but I'm not scoffing at it all the same. Let me know your thoughts. Also, where the hell are all the other superheroes at? Barely a mention. I don't know if there was a mention, but we'll move past it. Let me know. Please, again, think of liking and subscribing, hitting the notification bell, checking me out on some of these other platforms out there. It just helps. It helps me with all sorts of algorithms and AI bots and everything. I would appreciate it. And hopefully, unlike Matthew Murdock, I see you next time. That wasn't necessarily mean. Thanks again for watching the video. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it if you checked out patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. That's where fans of my channel go to help support it. There are different tiers with different offerings, exclusives every month. We got multiple movie reviews. There's a vlog monthly. And even if you don't want to plop down $1 a month, you can just sign up for Patreon for free and become a member at no charge. Appreciate your time. Thanks.